All right, hands up, those of you who feel you have an appropriate amount of freedom in your life. Freedom to make your own decisions, freedom to be the person you want to be. Wow, that's pretty good. We've got a lot of the room saying that. That's fantastic. That's the way I feel. Until I bought this watch. And then that started to challenge my thinking about my freedom. It's a sports watch. But it's not the fact that it holds me to a rigorous training routine and keeps me honest with respect to my health and well-being. It has nothing to do with that. There's something else about this watch that's challenged my thinking on freedom. And I'll come back to that later. Contest chair, Toastmasters and guests. I want to talk about 3 subject areas related to freedom. And at the end, I'm going to pull it all together. First, there's a man by the name of Burrhus Frederick Skinner, passed away in 1994, voted by his peers as the most influential behavioural psychologist of the 20th century. Skinner believed that human free will is an illusion. And he set about to prove that with rats in cages. And he could train those rats like a puppeteer drives his puppets. And he could have them doing whatever he wanted, pulling a lever to turn a light on, having 2 rats jump up and fight each other from rest. It was unbelievable. Now, Skinner did this through positive and negative reinforcement. The same way we train our children. Good boy, good girl. Bad boy, bad girl. But what we understand as parents is that when we give a reward or a punishment, it must be relative to that individual. A chocolate for one child may be a play at the park for another in terms of a reward. Now, Aristotle made a quote once and it said, "Give me the child from 0 to 7 and I will give you the adult." And that's exactly what Skinner felt. But Skinner didn't have the tools to do it to a whole society. Skinner believed that he could make the whole of society better through his techniques. Which brings me now to the second area. I want to link that behavioural element to technology. Now, Google, Facebook, Amazon, they all understand that they need to know us like our parents know us as individuals. And the better that they get to know us, the better the experience is with their platforms. I can't believe how intuitive Facebook is. When I hop on, it knows exactly what I'm thinking. How does it do that? That's just getting to know you. But what's happened in technology is that it's moved off our platforms, off our computers and into the real world. With smart devices like smartphones, smart TVs, smart ovens, smart fridges, smart. You can buy anything smart. And 2 years ago, my wife and I bought a smart vacuum cleaner. Unbelievable. $300. Every morning this thing backs out of its docking station, beep, 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 beep. The dog goes berserk barking at it and then lets it run its course. And it vacuums the house. And it knows where it was yesterday and doesn't go there. And it knows what it's going to do tomorrow. It's mapped the whole house out. $300. All we do is empty the dustbin. So Anna and I were so excited by that, we started to look at all the smart devices we could. And we looked at a smart bed. The smart bed had an app linked to it. And when I wake up, we didn't buy one, but we looked at it. It measured your heart rate, the amount of movement in the bed, and one other thing. You're breathing. And in the morning, the app would tell you how you needed to change the bed in order to improve your sleep. It had an electronic base and it could actually change aspects of the mattress. Now, whilst that tech improves our whole life and makes things easier and better, there's an aspect of technology that I learnt about after buying my watch. Reading a book called The Age of Surveillance Capitalism by Professor Shona Zuboff, Harvard Business School. And she called out that all of these smart devices have contracts. And most of us accept those contracts blindly. And the contracts have two things in them. Number one, you need to share your data back with the company that you purchased it from to enhance that experience. And boy, sharing all this data has enhanced that experience for me. The second thing in the contract is that that company then asks you to share, that they can share that data with their partner organisations. Now, Facebook and Google combined have purchased over 300 corporations. They've bought companies like smartwatch companies, sports watch companies, and vacuum cleaner companies. Now, when you roll all that together, I want to tell you how that comes together in a story which is a bit virtual and a lot of real. In January, we had furniture sales. And my wife and I started to rearrange our lounge room furniture, thinking, what are we going to buy to make the house a lot nicer? And the next morning, at 10 o'clock, beep, 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 out back the vacuum cleaner, and it gets to the lounge room, and it finds that all the furniture's moved. It sent the new layout of the house back to head office, and it was shared. Later that day, I'm in my study on Facebook, and up pops an ad for lounge room furniture, not furniture in general, lounge room furniture. And up pops an ad for interior design. Looking back on that, I now know how that happened. Now, sitting at my desk, I've been there for too long. And my watch started to beep up and says, time to get up, Andrew. You've been sitting on your ass too long. Okay, so I get up and do some exercise. I head to the favourite place in my house, the fridge. And I get to the fridge and I start to open it and it's locked. I can't open the doors. And I look down on the screen on my new smart fridge and it says, Andrew, you've had your calorie quota for the morning. Back off. Back off! I look up in the sky and there's Skinner, the puppeteer. He's pulling my strings. And I look across the sky and there's hundreds of Skinners above every household laughing. And I suddenly realise, snap out of this, Andrew. What are you doing? Chasing features and benefits from all my devices and sharing my data endlessly without even looking at the contracts. What am I doing to my freedom? What are we doing to our freedom by opening up our lives to that extent? I made a promise to myself right there and then. I am going to start reading my smart contract.